there's like the sensations of the face, an awareness of that, and then there's that that's like kind of behind the face that doesn't necessarily notice the sensations of the face when it's there. It's like that's just living and being with.
Yes, we are listening.
I'm trying to formulate.
We are listening with you.
How do you get this onto this? Like,
what is this and what is that?
Like, it seems like there's like I want to press in and like I want to like get my face on, like push my face into my face.
Oh. Is there any violence in it? Any wrongness? Any shouldness? Is it? Any impatience?
Yes, impatience.
Well, you can face it now, can't you?
Yes.
Then you can constate what that is. There is no effort. The one who is the listener, we couldn't call it the listener. It is the one self. Self is not even the right word. The one reality, the one authority, the one master of everything is always there permanently, eternally, never has not been there. So to call it listening is only in reference to speaking and being heard. But it is the perceiver of everything. If I merge with that, then I can say that is myself. And if I don't have any sense of it at all, then it will be a psychodrama that is played out in a very personal way. A tragicomedy. But if it is all right with you, I wanted to emphasize in your very fine listening, in your own way, that is of course the only way that matters, your way. I'm aware of something that is there, it has a being, but somehow it is underneath the face, and it is not really communicating itself all the way to the face. Did I hear correctly? Then, in that way of listening, the only way so far that I am able to communicate it right now is using the words of biology, of evolutionary biology. The part of my nervous system that has evolved to keep life going, the biology alive, it does not have the neurons, the neural circuits that will allow it to relate to its experience other than in the relationship of fear or as a response to danger. In any other way, its way of relating is to simply shut down, to immobilize itself, and to render the body-mind dull, sort of offline, like not having any affect, sort of apathetic.
Yes.
It has a reason for it, because the way it has evolved is to do that when it detects through its sensors. It uses the same sensors we have been speaking of to detect threats, and then, oh, this threat is the end of me. I need to shut down everything that is not essential for life, so that if I don't die, I can later recover the energy to continue living. As humans, we have developed some kind of maladaptive pattern of behavior, which we learn very early on in receiving punishment from others, usually our parents. And it detects that as a life threat because the parents are saying, shut up, you cannot exist. You cannot be joyful. You cannot be sad. No, stop it. And then that is a punishment. And these sensors in us that are incredibly sophisticated say, well, this can't be. I need to end that. And the way it ends it is, well, I will just stop allowing the more modern part of my nervous system, the one that was rendering me happy and joyful and crazy and doing things that children do. That's just, they're not children, they're just humans. Later, we just stop being human, actually. After a certain age, a human is gone. It has been put to sleep. So that you're detecting this. This is a very beautiful listening. Yes. And then you potentially are there, knowing that there is still a lack of that communication. But what could make it very effective is simply at this very moment. Can I just allow my face to tell me exactly how I feel about myself right now? Then, in that way, we are using this more modern evolutionary mechanism. It does have the neural circuitry to relate to experiences beyond threatening or alerting or communicating danger, you see? So we're actually overriding the previous programming which evolution gave us to shut down when we didn't feel safe. But we also have this new, more modern circuit that has the neurons, call them mirror neurons. They mirror the other's face. I see your face, then my face is going to try to do, it's going to take in your face, mirror it here, and send the signals down into my nervous system, all the way to my belly. Anywhere there's squishy stuff, they have neurons. All that's going to be relayed down there. Oh, wow, that's how she feels. Wow. And then I will know how to act based on that. But we prevent ourselves from doing that by having just a face, as you are saying. It is their being, but it is kind of it's in a sort of stasis. It's not really open to being affected very much. It's the face of immobility. Underneath that immobility, as we have heard earlier today, there's a lot of potential behaviors that could come out of it in the form of facial expressions, like was being said before. There's so many expressions that want to come out. They need to come out. The motor expression must be completed simply because the signals for that motor execution already happened decades ago. Already, they're old, you see. But to our nervous system, they're not old, they're new. Please let me get out. Please let me feel just as I felt. Please, please, please. I'm putting words to it. It's not saying that. But in the terms of the body mind, with one who wishes to be really enjoying their life, really it is a plea. It can be framed in the context of a plea for listening, patience, and tolerance. Can I allow myself to be? It's not even to be a child, just to be as I am. To be whoever I am. I don't even know. Whoever that is, it is fine. In your face right now, in your very fine listening, are you still in touch with the one that is there in the static, let's call it holding pattern, waiting to see if it becomes safe, you see?
Yes.
But you are the one who makes it safe. By you being there, by you listening, it can know that you know that it is there. But if there's any attitude other than openness and welcoming, such as impatience, then it will detect the threat. Oh, that is the exact same thing that happened. I'm not going to come out from that. You see?
Yes.
Impatience is a sort of violence.
Yeah. The instant association is, I used to be around horses a lot when I was younger. And as soon as you wanted them to do something, and I would get impatient, and then and I could feel that like playing itself out in my body when you were saying that.
Well, what does your horse make out of it right now?
Yeah.
Is the horse there listening?
Yes, and the impatient. See, I told you. Don't try to make me do something.
There's only punishment, and that's all you're going to get. Punishment. But here we say, no, actually, there isn't any punishment. I can do, feel, and say whatever I want at any time without any negative consequences. I will be welcomed and listened to exactly as I am. How else could it be? You don't need to, you could potentially take that on as a role for yourself to be your own friend. Take over your face to the extent that you can, your bodily experience, your body mind experience, in touch with reality outside, where it is completely safe right now. This is the main cue that we miss. Outside of my body right now, usually it is completely safe. And yet, inside, there's a signal that communicates threats. Not because the sensors are detecting threats outside, but because this part of myself, we can call it the horse, has been there under punishment, severe punishment for decades. And so it just gets flooded with punishment, and it can't take it anymore. It wants to reach the face, but I will make the face numb so that I cannot communicate how I feel about myself. Then I will avoid punishment, but also I will be very unhappy. It's a life of punishment. Who wants that? So please share with us in your own listening. Are you able to come into your own authority as a listener that listens to everything without judgment? And then direct that towards the one who is under your face and feeling threatened, perhaps, or not sure. Does it know that you know that it is there doing
Yes.
things? And what happens then?
Like a pleasant warmth in my face, and I can feel like energy moving up from the heart area. And it just seems so much more inclusive without, like Karen was speaking, with the restricted areas. And I can hear it in my voice too. Like it has a calmness. It does not choked up like it normally is.
And then we can detect more affect in it. The vocal cords are being allowed to transmit it. And it is being heard by your sensors. And there's a relationship to that. Here. I can be touched by my own speech, listening to myself. It is always the same. Always exactly the same. Is it aware that I am aware that it is there, doing things, feeling things, saying things? Either it is, or it is not. Or, potentially, there might be a glimmer of it, but then it's more kind of dislocated from. In that way, we do need to locate our experience in time and space. Oh, there's a body and a body mind and an attitude and whatever. We do need to locate that. We cannot transcend that. It is only when we are fully located in this way that then we can be translocated, transformed. It is the energy, it is made it all the way in, it is ready to be used to reflect the one that I truly am, the one who has a heart and a face together. You already know the listening that is required. This is the only way, as far as I know.
I really know that there's like a regulation of some sort when the words on the outside and when when I'm looking at the screen, when it becomes all one, when all of us are the same, is when I know that the identifications and the grasping is subsided more. And especially when there's reactions, not reactions, but like watching is listening. Like it's instant feedback. The instant feedback. And then when you said, I'm one with what is, or at least that's what I thought you said,
Yeah.
that it's just a whole loop, we're all one.